Hi everybody, Stefan Molyneux from Free Domain Radio, back with a good friend Paul Joseph Watson, the editor-at-large of Infowars.com. Find him on YouTube at youtube.com/prisonplanetlive. Paul, how are you doing, my friend?
Good to be back, Stefan.
Okay, today I'll just let you step the audience, the listeners, through what the hell is going on in England today.
Well, this is amazing. Absolutely shocking development. We had a pro-Remain Labour MP called Jo Cox, a mother of three, who was tragically murdered. She was attacked, she was stabbed, she was shot in northern England. Of course, she's been a prominent campaigner for the Vote Remain campaign. Tragic incident within minutes. And then before she was even dead, the Vote Remain supporters were on Twitter. They were in the media exploiting this for political grist. Now let's try and unpack it. So within about an hour of her being attacked, she was rushed to hospital, critical condition, she later died. But within an hour, these eyewitness reports came out which said that the attacker had shouted "Britain first" while he was murdering her. Now, of course, it's since been revealed that the eyewitnesses who were actually there immediately on the scene heard no such thing. And in fact, Breitbart has been at the forefront of reporting this. A local restaurant owner, Hicham Ben Abdallah, who was widely quoted by the media as hearing the killer shout "Britain first," later told Breitbart London, no, I did not hear that. Other eyewitnesses that they've spoken to who were on the scene said they heard no such statements. So then they talked to the neighbours, the friends, the people who knew this guy, who's been named, by the way, as Thomas Mayer, who had been under treatment, under medication. He was mentally ill. So they went and talked to the neighbours, who said he was, quote, not politically minded. A neighbour said he wasn't a member of a political party and had never expressed an interest in the EU referendum. Here's a quote from one of the neighbours, quote, "I don't think he belonged to any political party, and I never heard him express any views about Europe or anything like that." So these quotes were completely debunked the claim that this was some right-wing pro-Brexit extremist attack. And yet, what do we see? The London Evening Standard. This is the free newspaper that is given out to all Londoners when they're coming home from work. It's there in all the train stations. Everybody's got access to it. What was their headline? Remain campaigner gunned down in the street by someone who shouted "Britain first." Absolutely shameful lies. We had an Australian newspaper before Jo Cox had even died, with a headline, "MP shot, stabbed by Brexit supporter," before she was even dead. We had The Guardian, one of the biggest newspapers in Britain, saying that this was, quote, "an attack on humanism, idealism, and democracy." Again, this was a mentally ill loner on medication who had no political beliefs or motive whatsoever. And yet, across the board, within minutes, within hours, they were exploiting this to demonize Brexit. Absolutely shameful behavior, and it's still going on. I mean, I can't even keep up with it right now.
Well, and there does seem to be significant reports that she wasn't even targeted, that this man was having some kind of fight with someone else, and she tried to intervene or tried to get herself involved. And then she was attacked after she tried to intervene in a fight. And that's not been perfectly confirmed, but there's a lot of reports out that in which case, it wasn't even like the guy came to shoot her. She just got in his way while he was having some altercation. He's on psychotropics. He's crazy. He's got a gun, which, you know, I'm pretty sure it was a gun-free planet as far as England goes. So he's got a gun. He's got a foot-long knife. He's crazy. He exploded in violence. He never said "Britain first," according to eyewitnesses. So somehow now this ends up on the floor of the Brexit people, the people who want out of the European Union. And the evil genius of all this, Paul, is that they get to associate Britain first with the brutal murder of a wife and mother and MP. Now, once that association happens, it's kind of tough to undo with mere facts later on. This is not how you have political debates. This is how you train chickens not to peck at something by giving them electrical shocks. This is a base lizard of the brain attempt to rewire with negative associations the Brexit campaign, and it is really unbelievably appalling, and it's a hideous exploitation of a senseless murder for the sake of political gain, and should just be repulsive to anyone with half a shred of conscience.
Well, exactly. And for people who don't know, Britain First is a minor political party in Britain. Obviously very right-wing, very anti-immigration. They go out to these Muslim areas, they have these confrontations, but so far completely non-violent. I mean, those people are getting arrested all the time simply for holding events in, Muslim areas of London. But as you said, we have to realize and remember that some people are incredibly stupid, and they will believe and remember only the first thing they hear. And when it's splashed on all the major newspapers as they're going home from work and reading these free newspapers that a Brexit supporter brutally murdered a Vote Remain MP, that's what they're going to remember, even if they have to print retractions. And by the way, a lot of these people are now deleting all their tweets, panicking. But that's what they'll remember, the initial narrative. That's what the left is relying on, the stupidity of people. And, this is the same left that after every single Islamist terror attack immediately screeches, "Not all Muslims." Yet all of them immediately exploited this death and blamed it on Vote Leave supporters by characterizing them as extremists. So again, breaking their own rules. And I mean, we can go on, the IMF's Christine Lagarde, who is obviously an ultimate establishment insider, pro-EU, she was asked a question about Brexit. She responded, quote, "I'm not going to address your question about Brexit out of respect for Jo Cox." So you immediately see that intersection. Merely asking a question about Brexit now is shameful. It's callous. It's insulting to the victim. So they're getting so much political grist out of this. We need to now get on the offensive, and hopefully, it will backfire. It already has. But again, people only see the initial narrative. They don't see the retraction afterwards.
Well, there's that old saying that says that a lie can go twice around the world while the truth is still getting its boots on. And I'm just wondering, it seems to me, it's such an unsubstantiated rumor, such as the man shouted Britain First. Where the hell are the journalistic ethics that you need to get some confirmation? When the person quoted as the witness repudiates what the media is quoting, where the hell are the standards? Where the hell are the editors saying, no, we've got to confirm this. This is irresponsible?
Well, I mean, it's what do you expect from the mainstream media?
Maybe I'm wildly optimistic, but it's like, aren't there any gatekeepers? Normally, they're a little more subtle than this.
They're complete slime balls. I mean, they may dig up some old Facebook post later on and claim that he was behind it. Because, I've predicted something like this all along. I mean, Charlie Skelton, the Guardian contributor, he predicted at the end of May a big security terror scare right before Brexit that they would then exploit. So this is not over. They may massage the story. They may dig up some old post. But, I mean, the frothing reaction, I'll give you another example. Alain Juppé, the left-wing French presidential candidate, tweeted that Jo Cox was, quote, "shamefully murdered because of her beliefs." The European Union Commissioner for Migration, Dimitris Avramopoulos, tweeted that she was, quote, "murdered for her dedication to European democracy and humanity." When all the facts show that this was a mentally ill person, he was hopped up on psychotropics, as he said, probably involved in an altercation with someone else. And again, didn't even say anything political, didn't even believe anything political, according to the people who knew him, according to the eyewitnesses. Yet this has been exploited for political grist by the politicians, by the media. It's absolutely shameful, but I fully expected it.